Welcome to the Devs Platform overview. In this demo, we'll explore how the platform reads and structures industrial data, executes backend logic, visualizes live processes, and builds complete applications. Let's start with an introduction and an overview of Devs Platform from the login screen. This is a data platform built around data points, which allow users to easily read and write data from different devices using different protocols, while always maintaining the same well-known standard interface. That interface is a REST API, and the format is always JSON. This way, we can read and receive data no matter the source, and always have the same unified interface. Let's log into Devs. We can see that Devs has multiple applications, and as mentioned, data points are one of its most important features. We'll start this demo with data points. Data points are configured using an XML file, where the user defines the device or data source from which the data will come. The data source can be anything: a PLC such as Siemens or Allen Bradley, an OPC server, or other protocols like TCP or UDP services and clients. Under the data source object, we define our data points. Data points can be standalone, where we need just one value to read or write, or they can be structured and contain multiple values. Each data point is defined with a data type: integer, boolean, float, string, and so on. Its name, its direction, such as I/O or read only, a default value, a description, and other attributes. By defining all of this, we create a configuration with multiple data points that expose values from different devices. We can then deploy this configuration and use the data from those points. There's also a more user-friendly way to configure data points using the settings option. Here, we can configure the data type, direction, resolution, default value, description, name, and so on, using simple drop-downs. This achieves the same result as editing the XML file directly. Now, let's explore some values from these data points. In this instance, we're monitoring a few live processes in a steel manufacturing plant. One is material tracking, and the other is monitoring the furnace. We'll explore the cooling bed, which is part of the tracking process, and view the live data. We can see the JSON unified interface, showing the live changing data in JSON text format as it comes through the API. We can also explore the same data in a structured JSON format, where each individual object is clearly visible. Another important way to inspect data is in hexadecimal. Using hex, we can view the byte-level memory of the data points. This lets us detect hidden characters that might not appear in a typical printable format. All of this updates in real time, which is especially useful when interacting with address-based devices like PLCs with data blocks or Modbus devices. That covers the visualization of data within data points. Now let's continue with other aspects of Devs. Another important feature, apart from data points, is that Devs comes with embedded Node.js. This allows us to create JavaScript inside the runtime and use it as additional logic that consumes raw data from data points and processes it. With Node.js, we can build complete backends for different applications. To showcase this, we'll open Dev Scripting. Here we have a few sample scripts. One is a simple hello world using console log, which we can run. We can also create long-running scripts that execute logic periodically or on a predefined interval. We also have more complex scripts, such as this tracking simulation script. We can add a new script. Let's call it demo script and run it. After running, it turns green, indicating that it's active. There are also system-level applications we can explore. One is system information, which shows the system we're running on, the architecture, the number of processor cores, currently running processes, and memory usage. This is useful during debugging when performance may be an issue, without needing to access the machine terminal. Next, we have settings. Here we can edit global configurations such as logging levels, languages, authentication, and more, all in real time. We also have the console, which shows live logs from the Devs instance. Keep in mind that heavily loaded Devs instances handle many requests, so when we open the console, we can see a constant stream of incoming requests reading data points. Next, we'll cover bundles. To start, we'll describe what bundles are. A bundle is a unit of deployment in the application. Each part of this interface is one bundle. A bundle is essentially a zip file containing libraries, configuration files, binaries, everything needed for an application to run. Each bundle contains its version, dependencies, and state management. It can be active, stopped, and so on. Bundles also allow us to install new applications into a running Devs instance by simply dragging and dropping the bundle in the web UI or upgrading existing ones. This creates an application-like framework where we can search for applications, check their versions, stop them, and view their required dependencies. Bundles are the foundational Devs modules, which make the platform configurable and very easy to tailor to a specific production scenario, upgrade, and maintain. Next, let's cover another important part of Devs, which is SQL. In the SQL interface, we define SQL statements using property files. In these files, we specify which database connection to use, the statement type, whether it's a query or procedure, and the SQL statement itself. Here we have a simple query that returns all orders from the orders table. When we run it, all orders load. We can also create more complex queries with parameters. Parameters are defined in the property file. For example, here we have a payment parameter of type string. We can add validation using regex and define a query that uses this parameter. When we run the statement, we can search for unpaid orders, submit, and view all the results. This is a useful tool because it allows us to create queries easily, and those queries are also available via the API for different applications to use. Now let's look at higher level applications. First, we'll open the human-machine interface, also known as HMI. HMI is an important application in Devs that lets us create visual interfaces for end users. These users are typically operators in an industrial environment. On the left, we have a palette of interface elements, drop-downs, gauges, switches, which we can drag and drop to create screens. Here, we have a more complex screen showcasing a steel mill plant for material tracking. If we switch to runtime view, we can see live movement of material. We can zoom, pan, hover over objects, and view additional information. This is a powerful tool because it makes sense of data from data points and allows us to create complete end-user applications and visualizations. We can also create standalone applications. Here's an application used for furnace monitoring that's fully standalone. It provides advanced visualization of furnace state, real-time monitoring of oxygen, gas, and carbon consumption, and all the values update frequently. It also includes tabs for schedules, events, delays, chemistry, and heat sheets. This means we can build complete, all-in-one applications with their own front-end, back-end, data points configuration, and database queries, all conveniently packed in a single bundle file which can be installed by simply dragging and dropping it on the Devs UI webpage. These applications can use logic in C++ or JavaScript scripts, SQL statements, and data points, all integrated into a single bundle. In addition to scripts, SQL, and data points, we can also create data flows. As mentioned earlier, Devs includes embedded Node.js, and it also includes embedded Node-RED. In Node-RED, we can use nodes that directly read data point values. Let's explore this flow. Here, we extract oxygen, gas, and carbon consumption and visualize them using gauges and charts. When we deploy the flow, we can view the data in the Node-RED UI and watch the charts and gauges updating live. And that covers the most important aspects of the Devs platform. There are additional features we haven't explored today, so if you're interested in learning more about the platform, feel free to reach out and we'll provide any additional information you need. Thank you.